Namaste, my name is Sanat Kumar. Welcome back to the Manana podcast. Manana is a Sanskrit word that means reflection or contemplation. In this podcast, I'll be sharing my deep, insightful reflections for you to contemplate and hence live a life of fulfillment. I hope you find great value in today's episode. There is this notion, almost a trend, that not thinking is the best way to live life, the way to live a peaceful and fulfilled life. And even if you don't believe in that notion, continue to listen to this episode till the end and ensure you are reaping the full benefits of your brain. I agree that mindfulness practices or meditative practices that promote not thinking can be stress free, peaceful, and even fulfilling. But it is definitely not the way one should lead their entire lives. Can someone live that kind of life is irrelevant here. Because one can or not, as much as overthinking is a foolish crime you commit against yourself, not thinking is also the same, if not even more of a foolish crime. When I say think, it includes other related verbs like visualize, imagine, dream, conceive, reflect, plan, etc. All that your mind and brain are capable of doing. Your brain is an incredible gift. The brain is a superpower. Not using it, isn't that an act of sabotaging one's potential? Isn't that a crime? For example, if you cut off someone's limbs, you're actually sabotaging his potential, his life indeed. So that is a crime. What you're doing here is also the same. Being thoughtless should not be one's goal. Being mindful of every thought that crosses over the screens of your mind, that should be the goal. I'll ask you this. On a day to day basis, how long do you think you spend time thinking? How much of quality, deep thinking? The point is not to come up with a number of hours. The point is, number one, observe. In other words, get mindful of your thoughts. Whatever that's moving across the canvas of your mind. Point number two, write. Once you start observing your thoughts, you will realize great truths after sessions of deep thinking. Collect those truths you've realized, or in other words, the reflections you've received. And not only does writing help you collect those reflections or insights, but also it promotes more deep thinking. It also helps you connect the dots. You can go back to the old notes later when you realize something related to the same topic. Point number three, dedicate time. This is not a necessary or compulsory action if you're just beginning to observe your thoughts, but as you start observing your thoughts, that process will be on 24 into 7. So this is optional. However, when you are in situations where you need to solve complex problems, it's best if you can dedicate a portion of your day to just thinking. And if it helps, you can even talk aloud to yourself. Of course, do this in a private space so that nobody assumes you are mentally ill. A word of caution, however, everybody knows this quote from Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. That is absolutely true and applies here too. Deep thinking is a superpower. To balance your thinking, you must absolutely have some sort of meditative practice that by will or that forces you to stop thinking. Because if you are not balanced, it may lead to overthinking and then even fatally damage your mental health. Thinking is important, but not at the cost of your mental health. Your health is your responsibility. Balance your thinking with the same amount of and quality of not thinking. So, here are a few insights related to the same. When thinking seems and becomes unproductive, the most productive thing to do is involve yourself in an activity that will force you to stop thinking or that takes control of what you're thinking. It might be anything, even a distraction, healthy distraction. Insight number two, allowing yourself to think about what to do now or what do I do now may lead to unnecessary overthinking. So plan your week and month in advance. I'm not saying plan too meticulously, but at least you should know your routines, at what time you are doing what. So you need not think, oh my god, I have still this much time to do the next task. What do I do now? That will lead to overthinking, or sometimes when you are in a difficult circumstance, that circumstance might be bothering you. And these empty spaces or breaks between two tasks will make your brain overthink, and then it may lead to bad mood and even depression if it continues. Of course, there are other responsibilities like not losing those insights you've realized, creating and sharing a work of knowledge, utilizing those insights, etc. But mental health is that one responsibility that's a top priority. Again, that being said, as much as overthinking is a foolish crime you commit against yourself, not thinking is also the same, if not even more of a foolish crime. So, with this episode, all I'm trying to do is push you to think more deeply, and get more conscious of the process and of your thoughts. I hope you received excellent value in today's episode. To know more, head over to sanatkumarnebi.com, and if you haven't already, check out my book, The Flower of Fulfillment. Thank you for listening, and I wish you have a great day.